So I wanted to commit to that. And because music, the power of music, which a lot of people don't realize, is that it is like the single thing that utilizes both hemispheres of the brain. So it encompasses you. It's an experience. And the vision that I had for this, to have all of these different genres of people, musicians that you'd never see together in the same place.
Yeah.
You know, you
I'm
have the
telling
secular
you.
here, you have the gospel there, you got the,
That's what
everything is
made the
this
evening so
fragmented.
awesome.
And so when I discussed with my board members how I wanted to do this, and you're gonna have videos in it, you're gonna have this,
They
you're
couldn't
gonna have
see
that.
the vision.
I said, where's the dance floor gonna be? I said, music is more than just dance.
Thank you.
Okay, music is a vibe that can take you places. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It's an eclectic thing, and
That's
that's
right.
what I wanted for the evening.
That's
While you had acoustic guitar, you had jazz, you had
Mhm.
gospel, you had
a little bit of everything.
you had a little bit of everything, and so it was designed to really captivate you, so
Across
that
all genres.
and see everybody came with their own energy.
That's right.
Okay, with their own. When you came in there, I mean, it was just incredible. It was just so, and then when
Yeah.
Mathieu started it off with the anthem, it was probably the best version of the
Yes.
anthem I've heard.
Yeah.
It was
And I
really
the T-string
a
baby.
coming together, because the whole thing was to be a vibe. You know what I'm saying? An
Mhm.
energy, and the energy was to be that of togetherness and love, which is what we
Yes.
don't feel so much.
And I really felt it in the room last night. It was.
Yes.
It was just like I was telling you earlier. Well, it was personal.
Yeah.
Even with your performance.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you were performing even without the band.
Yeah.
And hey, you don't need a band, because like I used to tell people about when I thought about Aretha Franklin, I said she doesn't need music,
No.
Yeah.
because that's a true, even Ella Fitzgerald, she's a true instrument.
Yeah.
She can solo just like any instrument.
And you too.
And you know, well,
You too, and you
well,
did.
I'm
You
more
did
of a
so well.
straight person, straight.
Yeah, but you, I mean,
Simple,
how you
simple,
did it
but-
last, and you took
I-
it, you made
yeah.
it your own.
I love that.
And then
song.
Ralph Munnings was the
Ralph,
icing on the cake.
Oh, I love
Ralph
it.
was because I honored all of these different musicians with videos. A
Mhm.
lot of work went into this.
I
mean,
wow.
the amount of time that was involved
You
in
had
it
a
to
lot
do
on
that.
your plate,
So
but it came off.
yeah, it was to give tribute to especially to T, who was my mentor,
Yes.
and he took
Mhm.
me from where I was musically and carried me to higher
Mhm.
heights. But I'm a guy who's, if you cut me, my blood is orange. Right?
T, listen here. Let me hear you. You shared last night while you played, and a lot of people didn't know. I never knew you were from Andros. You told us a little. You shared a bit about you, which is a lot of people. I said, these are things we don't want to lose. We don't want to lose, or knowing. That's why I'm seriously. You got me. I'm waiting for the book with
Okay.
your life story.
Okay.
And it's going to be an encouragement and inspiration and everything to all of our younger generation, and for even just put you in there. Because when I lost my father, I had done a recording interview. I interviewed my own father.
Mhm.
We lost the tape, and
Oh.
that just
It's interesting that you said that, because
because
because in 2009 I did an interview with my father.
true.
Nobody ever saw that interview, but
No.
when he passed, that's when I was able to release it, and people were able to get the story, because we're all Andros people.
Right,
And,
to
he's-
know, who we.
Yeah. Because
You
you
know.
want your future generation to be able to, who would
Yes.
never meet him,
And I felt
even
that-
when you pass, for them to be able to see that generations
And this
further.
was during COVID and everything. I said,
Yeah.
look, they didn't know what a pioneer he was for aviation, and they never really knew the whole story. And I was just anyhow. So I don't want that to ever happen.
Mhm.
We need to know about you.
Yeah.
We need to know about your story.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are a lot of interviews, people that would like to interview you. My boss in Nassau, she wants to talk with you.
Oh.
And even what would you say to young people? Tell us a little bit about T. While I have you here, and you came from Andros.
Yeah. I was.
Which
I
part of
was
Andros?
born in South Andros. I was born in Cargo Creek. It's the largest island in the Bahamas by
That's
far.
right.
And I was born down there, and then I came to Nassau when I was about 2 or 3. and we lived in Lightfoot Key
Wow.
because
That was a sign right there for where you were
well,
going in this
my
life.
parents were working for a family there,
Okay.
a couple that would come here to winter here,
Awesome.
and that's how come I wound up in Lightfoot Key. And then when they passed on,
Mhm.
I was about 7 or something like that. We moved to Nassau City. We moved
Mhm.
into the city part, and I grew up in Farrington Road.
Okay.
You know.
That wasn't far from where I lived in Oaksfield.
Oh, I used to
Yeah.
go to Oaksfield School.
Really?
Yeah.
I know of Oaksfield Primary School.
Yeah, I went there.
We lived right on Thompson's Boulevard, next to
okay.
where Sandpin
Yeah.
Mills was, and that was our house
Yeah,
there.
we come from the same area.
Thank
Yeah,
you very much. There's
That's
something
right.
to be
Yeah.
said about that.
yeah, I grew up there, and when my father brought this piano in that is people he worked for were throwing out. He said,
Okay.
he brought it home,
Listen,
and once I heard him play that night, he's playing Amazing Grace. He's using 2 fingers.
really?
And, but he's playing everything. He's not making any mistakes.
Thank
He's
you
just playing
very
2
much.
fingers, one on for the bass and one for the ear.
Mhm.
So I was, wow, I was listening to him outside. And then the next day, I was playing, I don't know, I think, Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow? But I was just playing the chords,
Okay.
and I never played the piano before.
Well, see,
And he
that's
was
a
like-
gift.
He was like, "You using all your fingers?" I said, "Yeah." Well, how what were you doing? I was wondering how you're doing with the 2
You do the 2 fingers.
So
Oh,
my mom, bless her heart, and
gift.
God rest her soul, she said, "We got to send this boy to music lesson."
That's right.
And that's why I went to Mrs. Mallory.
I know of the Mallories.
Yeah.
There are 2 sisters too, and then there was the dad.
Yeah, myself and
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
That's right.
And so I went to her for about 2 years. And my
Okay.
mom passed, and when my mom passed, the next year we moved back to Andrews.
How old were you then when your mom passed?
I was 14.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 14.
Just in the teenage world.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, listen here. This is so good to find out.
Right. She didn't get to see my success,
Right.
so because she passed
Don't worry,
early.
she's up in heaven watching.
Yeah. Well, she had a lot of children. She had 10 surviving children. She had
Okay.
triplets that passed at
Wow.
birth. So she had 13 children
Yeah,
altogether.
but my mom had a big family.
Yeah.
10, I think there were 10, one died.
Yeah. And so she passed, because she, like I said, she had a lot of children, and
Mhm.
she,
It was a lot.
it was a lot on her plate.
Mhm.
And so my inspiration for trying to be a musician, when I say I'm going to be a musician, is when I saw Tony Seymour, Rusty Albrecht. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And I forgot the Congo, gentleman on the Congos, and they were playing at my house. Because the old man, he knew
They said-
everybody.
And they probably get together back in the day
Yeah.
at each other's
He
homes
knows
and have a
everybody.
jam session.
And he said, "Come play for my son's birthday," and so
Okay.
they came there, and they sounded so good. Tony with that voice,
Mhm.
and Rusty with that big guitar.
Wow.
And I was like, that's what I want to do right
Thank
there.
you very much.
I don't care about anything else. That's my profession.
Mhm.
And so when I heard Joseph Spence, and I realized, okay, I got to become a great musician, because he was so great. He's a genius, but he's
Wow.
not recognized by behemoths.
These are the things that we've lost.
Yeah,
We've lost a lot.
They don't know who this guy is, and all these American guys are copying what he did. These rock guys.
And then to find out the origin of some of these
Yeah.
techniques and the stuff that happened, people will be shocked.
Yeah, he's a
Where he
hero
came
to the
from.
rock and roll guys. They always talk about Joseph Spence,
Joseph
Joseph Spence. And this is guys that hang out at my house. And when I heard him, because he plays everything, he plays the chords, the melody, all together.
I
He
think
didn't need
Ronnie
a band.
Butler did a song about him or something.
Yeah, KB did a
Yeah,
song.
KB, and yeah.
And Fred Ferguson really promotes him a lot.
Mhm.
But so we shouldn't lose those guys,
No.
And so I heard him, and then I knew that you really got to become good, because that's greatness there.
Thank you.
So he's one of my biggest influences. And then I started listening to piano players like Ramsey Lewis,
Oh,
and all that.
man.
and so and I could play everything Ramsey was playing.
I'm telling you, he did a Wade in the
Yeah.
Water medley thing. I
Yeah,
love
Wade in the Water, yeah.
And
Yeah.
the Sun Goddess. And
Sun
all those
Goddess,
things, and Earth,
Yeah,
and
Earth and
did a
Fire
lot of-
played on that.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
awesome music, man.
Yeah. So basically, he was my first guy that I really liked.
Yeah,
And I
Sort
could
of.
play. I could play all the things he was playing,
I'll bet you could.
because it was bluesy,
Okay.
and I could always play blues naturally.
Man.
And so when we moved back to Andrews, as I said, after my mom's passing,
Mm-hmm.
and I was down in Andrews. I didn't fit in now because I was
Yeah, because
from
you've been
Nassau.
exposed to a lot of
Yeah,
things. Yeah.
and so I couldn't fish. I wasn't a good fisherman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I couldn't go.
You were the creative.
What they call crab, and I couldn't do that.
You found what you were supposed to be doing because there's nothing that's happenstance.
Yeah. So cutting a long story short, my cousin and I, Roy Wallace. I had worked as a teenager on the American base
Mm-hmm.
to pick up some money so I could leave.
Right.
And so I got enough money because I was hooked up. They hooked me up with a guy that was really pleasant to me from Vermont or something like this guy.
Okay.
Because they had me doing all these heavy things, and I was a little skinny kid. And so this Southern guy was like, fill this guy's bucket or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I dumped it because I'm a little skinny guy. I have no problem. So the man who's in charge, I think he was from Maine or somewhere, he said,
Okay.
"Oh no, kid, come here. I'm gonna put you somewhere else. Go with Bruce over here." And Bruce was a welder, and he said, and he liked me right away. He said,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey kid, all you can do is pass me stuff. You really gonna be doing anything."
Thank you.
Because he saw something in me that nobody else saw.
Listen, I think God always puts somebody
Exactly.
in the way.
Exactly.
To put you back on the path where you need to be.
Exactly.
And this nobody can tell me that it's your life isn't ordained.
Right.
He gave you a gift. That's a gift. You were gifted.
Yeah.
There's no doubt you have a gift.
Yeah. He was just a pleasant, beautiful person. And so after a few weeks, I got enough money I could leave.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, "Oh, you're leaving?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, okay. It's like he figured you should leave.
Right.
Anyway, so my cousin Roy Wallace and I said, "Let's go, man." So I go to my stepmother, and I said, "Ma, can you give me the money? I'm gonna leave." She said, "Okay, you're gonna leave. Just be careful now, and all that stuff." So we hit the road, and it's a dirt road, really. They haven't paved yet.
Okay.
Because this is a while ago. And we got on the road. We made one stop in Bowen Sound where my other family lived.
Okay.
The Mackeys.
There
And
you go.
the Mackeys fed us. And so because it's 20 miles you got to go
Wow.
to get to Fresh Creek. So we did the other 10 miles and we got in there and I go in a restaurant and I see Myron Walker, who's a guitar player. He used to play with on the talent show for my sisters. When,
Okay.
me and him, we played for the sisters. And so,
Mm.
he saw me, "Hey, Skill." He used to call us
Skill.
Skill. You remember that?
People used to call it Skill back
Hey,
then.
Skill.
Hey, Skill.
So he said, "Hey, Skill, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm from here." It's so he says, "Duke, you said you want a piano player. This boy's a good piano player, And I was about 16.
Wow.
And so Duke told this Haitian guy, "Take him over the creek to the piano, see if he could play." And so the Haitian guy takes me over, because Haitian guy was a bass player. I can't remember his name, that's why I'm calling him Haitian guy.
Yeah.
And so he asked me to play songs. I said, "I don't know it." Play this? No, I don't know it. I don't know it. He said, "Play what you know." And I don't remember what I played, but I played something. And he didn't say a word. He just took me back over to the restaurant again.
Mm-hmm.
And Duke said, "Can the boy play?" And he said, "Boy can play."
Yeah, right.
So I started right then that night.
Wow.
And I was in the business. I was a professional now.
I mean,
And
working.
didn't know any songs they played, but what I did is I listened and I heard that, these songs have a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is remember the bridge.
Thank you.
They all have the same
You
pattern.
say go back to the bridge.
Right, take me to the bridge, right? And so when they came around again the next night, and I was playing all these songs, and Duke was like, "You didn't know these? What happened?"
You got them now.
And so he said,
Quick study.
I said, "Hey man, I just got it." And so anyway, everybody would tell this boy, "You need to play something once for him," and he's got it.
That's it.
And so that's why he made me the band leader.
Yeah.
And I was 17 when he made me the
There you
band.
go.
I turned 17 when he made me the band leader. And so I was with him for 5.5 years.
Wow.
And then I went to the Blue Notes. I'm cutting everything a little bit short here.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I went to the Blue Notes. And you remember the Blues of
Yes.
Marvin Henfield and all
Mhm,
those.
Definitely Marvin Henfield.
Yeah.
Blue Notes.
He's a marvelous singer.
Yes, he
Yeah.
certainly is.
Yeah.
He's in Turks and Caicos now.
Hubert, too.
Mhm.
Hubert G.
Hubert G, that's right, though.
Yeah, because remember you got in his start in the Blue Notes.
That's
part of
right.
the story. Yeah.
I think Hubert was a
Remember
part of the
when you
Blue Notes
left?
too at one time.
When you
hey.
left?
Mhm.
Turn it
Oh,
over to
yeah,
Hubert.
Hubert,
Yeah.
Hubert,
Yes, yes, I
We're in
remember.
his station.
Oh my
It's
God.
gonna- it comes back.
Bring it
One
back
part.
to you.
Yeah, I told him I won't leave. I told him, I said, I'm gonna form a group, my own group,
Mhm.
but I'm not gonna leave until you get somebody that can do the job that I'm doing.
Right.
And so I talked to this American guy. No, I told this Jamaican guy who was working on the ship, and
Okay.
he was awesome.
Really good.
And I said, "Oh, hey man, you want a job? So you don't on the ship? Just see the job I'm doing. Would you like to do it?" He said, "Like, no, I understand the ship. You know, I want to do what I'm doing." And then there's an American guy coming. He said, "I think I want to hang in the Bahamas for a while." Because he said, "Man, you really good, man." I said, "Man, you're good," because he played with Miles Davis.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, we know Miles with that trumpet, man. He was just out. He was in another
Exactly,
world.
and he don't pick. If he pick you, you're bad.
Yes. Thank you.
And so he said, "No, they're not doing jazz. So I'm not interested in that because he wanted to do jazz like Miles Davis."
Right.
And so when I heard Hubert, I was like, "Okay, I'm out of here because this guy can do it, right?" So Hubert comes in there, and end of story. He got the
rest is
gig,
history.
and then I was able to form my own group. And so I had saved so much money just to do all this. I didn't want to do it halfway. So I had thousands of dollars that I said the Blue Notes are making good money.
Thank you.
And so when I put the group together, I saw Kirk, and I heard Kirk and Berkeley practicing. They were doing Marvin Gaye's
Kirk's your
What's
brother.
Going On. Yeah, Kirk
Of
is
course, yeah.
Kirk is the man. And so they were doing What's Going On. These are teenagers, right?
Mhm.
I think they were like 17 or like that. And I said,
Berkeley Van Berg.
that's my battery. That's my battery, because the drums and the bass are the battery of the group.
Thank you.
That's my battery.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were a trio band. So we did a little thing for Penis Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Man, y'all got to come here. I got to get something for you
Was that the
guys."
drum beat club?
He had the
back
show
then?
club.
The show club, right?
Right. Yeah. And so we put I needed a guitar player,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't want any of the guitar players that I knew. I wanted a young guy, just like these other young guys.
Yeah.
And so Kirk said, "Hey, there's a guy, Monty Brown, he lives right around the corner there." And I said, "Oh, yeah, okay, bring him along." And he came along, and his rhythm was like amazing. I said, "Okay, it's all good. We got it." So we opened at the Trade Winds.
I remember the trade winds.
Yeah.
I've been over there in Paradise Island.
And we
Trade
used the
winds.
instruments of Tavares because they were doing the show.
The Tavares brothers came all the time.
Yeah, the
And
Tavares brothers.
Marvin, I think that Marvin was, and
Yeah.
Bill was over there too.
They wanted to make them Bahamians because they came here so much.
They came here, they were there in Nassau a whole
Yeah.
lot.
So we used the instruments, and because they had these great instruments.
Boy, could they harmonize.
Oh my God, they were awesome. They were awesome. Bahamians loved them,
I'm telling you.
and Americans got to love them later because they weren't
Mhm.
famous yet when they were coming down here.
That's what, because I remember them.
Yeah.
You know, when I lived, I'm from Nassau,
Yeah.
but awesome. One thing I can say with you were focused.
Oh, for
And
sure.
you were like an arrow.
Yes. Yes.
And like I said, like
Yes.
you almost knew you were destined for greatness.
I was focused like
And you
crazy.
were focused, and you had laser focus from then. You know, you weren't there to stay in this group. Okay, it's time for me to move on.
Exactly.
And you were planning because you were saving to make your next move.
Yeah.
That's what's so awesome about it. What would you say to young people right now? Because people are helter skelter a whole lot. We have a lot of talent in this Bahamas. What would you say to young people who want to really excel in the
Mhm.
music business?
Have a goal. You gotta have a goal, like, be focused on that goal, whatever it is you're trying to do. Like I just had to do talk with my cousin. She's a bass player, great bass player in Nassau, and she was having problems, and so her father calls me. That Maggie's too. And my family's everywhere. They call. He called me. Could you talk to her and let her, my daughter, and let her know, because you're a hero. You are her hero. If you could just talk to her, and because she's really down, I just told her, I called her, and she went, oh, I can't believe you called me. I said, yeah. Your father told me what's going on. She said, yeah, it's just him. I'm just despondent because I'm not sure where we're going, and we just replace some people, and then the people are maybe not into us yet or something. And I said, you know what, send me a video with what y'all doing. And she sent me the video, and I was like, because they're
Okay.
doing jazz,
Wow.
and she is a monster.
Okay.
And she had a trumpet player there that was killing, and it was, I said,
Wow.
don't change anything. Don't matter how long it takes before people catch on. Don't change anything. You got to believe in what are you doing. That you guys are great. Don't change anything. Just stick it out. Don't try to make it too fast, because you can burn out like that. Just keep right there, because y'all got it. And she said, thank you so much for saying that. And she talked.
And I'm sure that was a huge encouragement for her,
Yeah.
because you you're on the right track.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you feel maybe I should change genres of music or try to do a little more. Then that's where people get messed up,
Right.
and you get thrown off of your track
Yeah,
or wherever
exactly.
it is you're supposed to go.
Stay on
You know?
that road. Stay on that road. Because like you can't listen to everybody, because everybody's got an opinion what you should do.
Thank you.
You know what you want.
You gotta have
I
your
knew the
vision.
kind of band I wanted, because everybody's criticized me for the other musicians. Man, why didn't you get so and so? Why didn't you get this guy on guitar? And I said, no, I got the guys
Who you want?
who I want. I know. And so when we started in the show club, we had this big following. We had a lull in the economy because of the oil crisis back there. We moved to Out Island Bar, and we had a huge following.
Wow.
Yeah.
And over here you had what was it? T Connection Room.
Yeah.
Two over here, man. I'm telling you, T, it is just an awesome pleasure to have you here. And I'm glad you're sharing what you shared, because a lot of people don't know.
Right.
The stages that you went through, how focused that you are. And that's what I can hear in everything. Okay, you're not here to stay, but this is a stop along the way, one of the stepping stones for you going where you got to go.
Yeah.
But definitely, it's a gift if you could jump to that piano and play without any lessons or anything, and you begin to hear. Somebody mentioned that. No, Ralph. I was speaking with Ralph, and he's saying that's the quickest study I ever met. You
Ralph,
pick up something just like that. And Ralph, I always look for him. We played a lot of gigs. And I always, because.
That's my guy. He's like, I guess 86 or 87 years old right now.
Thank you.
And he still has that sound.
And he can
but he used to take me to all the jazz. He used to do jazz for these wealthy people in these
That's
houses.
Right. Thank you.
And he always grabbed me.
Private parties.
Yeah, I'm a young guy, and it was him and Brady Lord and Dennis Donaldson.
I remember Dennis Donaldson too.
Yeah, and we used to do all these, but so he got me into jazz. He's the one that got me to jazz.
Jazz, there's nothing like it. I love it, and I guess I'm probably not a part of a lot of things because that's what I like to do.
Because you do jazz too.
Do Bahamian music, but I like when we worked in the casino. Okay, they say it's time for some bush. We got to do some bush, and we call it. Well, we're on the bandstand, and we do that. Since I have to, I do them well. I can do them well, and soca, and then I did everything.
But
then it wasn't my favorite.
Yeah,
I love when it was time for balance, jazz.
Yeah.
Last night I wanted to, folks, if you missed it, we were talking with Dave and his theme. Well, being the Orange Economy with the creatives, with Rotary, we're looking forward to wonderful things with his theme. Him as president this year. You hope to provide instruments for some of the primary schools is one of the projects that you're probably going to be getting into. So that we're looking forward to that. What you put together last night, and with bringing tea, I think that was the perfect thing to do, because like I mentioned, you are an inspiration to many Bahamian musicians, especially, and I'm hoping that they hear in you. That's what I picked, the focus and how you had laser focus. You knew you were going somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And we have so many people with a special gift, but you recognized that you had this gift. And that's what's so awesome, because it's just, you had a style all your own. I heard, is it true that you guys worked with, you were opening for Earth, Wind and Fire at one point in your career?
No, we were open for the Isleys.
The Isley Brothers.
And we opened for War.
Okay.
and we won concerts with the Average White Band and
Nice. My AWB.
AWB.
Pick up the pieces.
Those guys are awesome.
Cut the
And,
cake.
yeah, cut the cake. Yeah. Yeah, that they were awesome. We work along the Southeast.
Right.
Confunction. We work with them. We work with
Confunction.
Ohio Players.
Hmm.
We work with a lot of big, but Open Fire used to take their own people. They
Right.
had people they were producing.
You were
Yeah.
as good as, because I used to think Earth, Wind, and Fire to me they were my all time
Oh,
favorites.
yeah.
They were like the gods of music for me.
Yes.
I got to go to, I think, the Serpentine Fire concert.
Oh yeah.
I just it was an out of body experience for me, because I thought, gee, I'm gonna go.
We wanted to go on the road with them. We would have liked to go on the road with them, but they
Because you sat, I mean,
They took their own
they have
people.
nothing on you. I mean, with the ability to do music, because the creative, they had the way their music was so creative. Nobody holds a candle to you. So it's not that they were any better, but you've got that quality.
yeah.
So T,
But we
Listen.
played also, like Dave was just saying, we were talking about who we played with. We did this TV shows with Donna Summer, Bee Gees,
Mm.
Donna Summer, the Bee Gees,
that's right.
all that stuff. So
And you
we-
did the was it the Soul Train? What do you want Soul Train?
Yeah. Yeah.
Soul Train, American
and
Bandstand.
American Bandstand.
Yeah.
We used to watch all
Top
of
of
these
the Pops.
shows.
Huh?
Top of the
Top of the Pops, Britain,
Thank you.
Britain.
And you were Grammy nominated.
Yes.
Listen here. I'm telling you, we are so proud of you.
Thank
And we
you.
will continue to always be proud of you, what you've done. And I even have a deeper appreciation. And last night, what you did, you were there, you on the piano. And it was so personal. It was so personal. I said it's just the right atmosphere. You shared a little bit about yourself, which is something that probably has never happened.
No.
And for those who were there, and you were not there, I'm sorry you missed it.
Yeah, they missed a lot.
You
yeah.
missed it, because it was just an awesome, lovely evening.
Mhm.
And Dave, I say thank you for your vision
Thank you.
with doing that, and you brought the perfect
Well, thank you.
person here. I said, so I appreciate you, and I'm so thankful that you decided to come here and grace us with your presence.
Oh yeah, it was good to
And
see you last night and to hear you
Yeah.
last night because I haven't heard you in a long
It had
time.
been a long time.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm always here, will always be rooting and listening. I know you've done some stuff, and I would love to get a hold of all of your new stuff that you got there.
Okay.
There's something you had, was it a contemporary jazz song or something? Dave promised to get it to me, but I'm still, I'm still waiting.
Great reminder.
But your Shelley, okay, see that? Yeah,
Now you
got a
know
Shelley.
you'll get it.
Doggone it.
The pack, the Shelley pack.
Amen.
Don't mess with that.
So I'm telling you, I'm going to say that we wishing you all the best, and
Thank you.
hopefully we'll see you again soon. Don't make
Okay.
it so long.
Okay.
Shelley, you work on that. Work on that, and listen here. It was a blessing,
Thank you.
and you are a blessing to the
Thank you.
Bahamas. And if nobody has told you, yes, you are. And if they one day, a lot of people are going to know just how much talent and how gifted that you really are. They know, but they don't know. No.
No, they call it. They'll no.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
And Dave, thank you for what you organized. And
Well, you were a big part of that. Again,
I was happy to be there.
I reiterate that your
And to help.
performance was just like, whoa. Can listen to this all night.
I mean,
And like I said,
appreciate
Ralph
that.
Munnings on top of it.
Oh,
You
listen.
and Jans, and it was
Yeah,
just,
and Jens Sweeting, he's a really wonderful up and
He's
coming young
amazing.
musician.
and you know, I have to give big credits to him for helping me to organize
Yeah,
it.
put it together.
Because I had so many different moving parts.
I know.
And
I said you probably
to
have three
coordinate the-
brains to edit videos. Doing
because Shelley, there were times I stopped on the side of the road. I'm like, how the hell? God help me! How am I going to put all this together? Because I'm just sequencing the show and the flow of it. I had the concept, the video and the
Yeah.
song, but the whole order of it. So Jens and I would get together late at night And then when it was time to really to the crunch, and I just couldn't talk with him because I was editing and stuff.
Yeah.
And he just took the bull by the horn. He says, "Dave, this is it." Then we got together, and then we just tweaked the stuff, and then I felt
It was
relaxed.
a lovely
Yeah.
evening.
Yeah.
And I feel that those who missed it, they really missed out.
They really did, because you'd never get to see
It was
that amount.
and it's not going to happen like that
No.
anymore.
No. Those who didn't make it,
So-
they really missed out.
And I mean, you had Wilfred Solomon, you had Simeon Outen, you had the Cooling
Cool-
Waters.
Cooling
Yes.
They were awesome.
Yeah.
And they had
KB.
KB, he performed, and he
Yeah.
was awesome.
The
and,
only
and I'm telling you, it's just and you had what's his name?
we had you know, your son was scheduled to be on it too.
Right, and he.
But what happened
you
was-
weren't able to edit his video in time.
No, well, there was so much in the show,
Yeah.
and we look at the time. Well, God, this is going to be 4 or 5 hours. So so we had to cut down, because Phil Stubbs was scheduled to be there too.
Right, I thought that's
I did a great interview with
Oh
him.
yeah.
because you
and,
you don't get to see Phil too
no.
often.
Well,
He wrote to
performing.
me. He said he's dealing with some health issues.
Okay.
Oh.
And
Okay.
so what's going to happen
Because
with
he's
this?
our storyteller.
Because you
Yeah.
know your interview, you know all that we covered in it.
Yeah.
So the plan now is to build a documentary where we hear what wasn't said,
Right.
because you only got to hear a minute and a
Yeah.
half of everybody.
Yeah.
So now the other part of the story will be told.
And I think that what you experienced as growing up, true, it really affects, because it did us. Me and my sisters, we were her first students when she came to the Bahamas
Yeah.
during all of us, and we did dance theater. We learned to tap dance, ballet, acrobatics, all this kind of thing, and it exposed us to Showtime stuff, I said, but
So that's just the
Awesome.
beginning. So
yeah,
you'll hear your story.
yeah, man.
Everybody else's. I should have been recording this actually, because I'm
Listen,
going to have to say all those things again.
listen. But I thank you so much. This was, worth. I could go on and listen to more stories. Shoot.
It's a long story, so I'm gonna cut everything short.
T, I'm looking for that book,
Yeah.
and you notice I'm not smiling. That
We're
means
doing
it's
it.
a
No,
very
we're doing
serious
it.
thing.
We're gonna do it.
And you,
I can help you with that. With AI.
Shelley.
Yeah.
listen, because that's something that's going to be a good read, and something that I think our young people, that's got to be in the archives to
Yeah.
like the Haymans that have made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People need to,
And what an awesome talent.
because in the schools, people, they don't know who T Connection is. They don't know.
Exactly.
You know
And
what I'm
they
saying?
need to know.
But they know whoever it is that's in the US or in the reggae world and
Thank
everything.
you.
But as far as our culture and who really made it and
Listen.
evolved it, they don't know.
This
They
is-
don't know who it is.
This is a blessing.
You know. So
And
that's
you-
why I wanted to have
And
the
there's a
videos
reason
so
that
people
people
can
are
see it.
given gifts.
Yeah.
You were given your
Def-
gift, and
oh,
there
definitely.
was a mission that you were sent here for.
Definitely.
I say it every day to everybody, and you cannot. God says, don't compare yourselves among yourselves. I'm giving you what you need for your journey. He might have had 10 gifts, you have 3, but there's no one more important than the other.
Exactly.
So you have a mission, and I give you what you need for your journey.
Mhm.
And that's it. And so everyone, and you appreciate everyone. That's where we need to get, because they have what we have in the Bahamas, the black crab syndrome.
Yeah.
And you can't get no higher. I mean, we pull you down, and you're.
There was none of that last night though.
No, and
None.
that's
None of
what
that's
made
what
it
I
so
None.
good.
None
It was
of that
just
stuff.
so good to see everybody, and that's it. Just made that was a good feeling.
It was good
Yeah.
to see Jay, man.
Yeah, like Maya Angelou says, you'll never forget how somebody made
Jay,
you
man.
feel.
Jay, that's my buddy, man.
Jay, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
and he's been in the trenches
Yeah.
and been
Forever,
around.
man.
That's right.
Like when I came to Freeport in '67, Jay was the man. Man.
Okay.
He's the
So,
man.
I was glad. And Dave, thank you for what you've done, and we look forward to your year as
There'll be more.
president in Rotary, and that's right.
There'll be more.
And this is what we need.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I so much appreciate you guys coming.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Oh.
Folks, we've just been listening to T. Coakley, Theophilus Coakley, and Dave Mackey, T of the T Connections. And hey, you got to get a little bit inside his life and how he got to be where he is. And we are so proud of him. We're about to celebrate in the Bahamas right now, and I'm going to hey, I'm going to just this is a real up for me, and this is special to me. So just so you know that.
Thank you.
So
Thank you for
thanks
having
for
us.
coming. And I'm going to put
Great to
the
be in your
music on
company
in
again.
here right now. Good to be in your company. I'm going to play a T Connection song right now. You missed it last night, folks, if you were not there.
Where am I? What is this place? Back moon hanging in space. Rose-colored faces covered with shining wings. Silver fingers wrapped in golden rings. Trying so hard to reach the throne. Seems like I had, feet of stone. So many millions standing in front of me, singing a never-ending melody. Love's a dream, we are gonna change. Meadows evergreen. Feeling us change and see. No more partisans in our world around. Time will pass. Our soul sees. When the day loves a dream. Yeah. This must be only make-believe. It all seems so real. Wish they could see me, but they don't somehow. Yeah, I must be fading. I can wake up now. Yeah. Trying so hard to catch their eyes. They don't seem, to hear my cries. So stagnant and standing in front of me, singing a never-ending melody. Yeah. Love's a dream, Yeah.